Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I think that at this point we could all agree that Ukrainians, or at least the guys in charge of Ukraine, will receive American long-range missile systems, the so-called ATA-CMS, and they will also receive Taurus, the German missiles. They say they will need about 3 months to deliver those ones. The Taurus are going up to 500 kilometers about. The ATA CMS, the American ones, go to 190 miles or about 320 some kilometers. Also the Storm Shadow and the Scalp, the French ones, they go about what, 200, 300 kilometers. Well, it doesn't really matter. They will receive them. I have two issues with this. 2 points. One, I wonder if these guys in the European Union or European countries, not the Americans, thought of the consequences if the guys in Kiev decide to just say, you know what, we don't like you anymore and we would like to hit you. Those missiles could be used if brought to the western side of Ukraine. They could cause some damage to some western countries. That's one point. The other one is Moscow. Moscow will be hit by the Ukrainians, and they will claim that they will not use the American, French, British, or German missiles. If you remember, about a month ago, the Ukrainians claimed they developed their own long-range missile systems, and supposedly they tried one in August, successfully, that travel about 700 kilometers. Well, I have some suspicions. My point is, or my prediction is, the Ukrainians will use the Western countries' long-range missile systems, and they will say it was theirs. And I will have a few articles here to support my claim to a certain extent, not 100%, but I think I have a point. So I'm going to start with this first article, and it comes from the New Voice of Ukraine, and it's titled, Ukraine aims for own version of Russia's Kalibr and KH-101 missiles. So nothing wrong with that, but you're gonna see the next article is going to be more concerning, or at least make my point. So it says here that the publication delves into Ukraine's effort to design weaponry notably instrumental in striking illicit targets in Russian-occupied Crimea. That's what they say. They start slow and then they go further. On the other hand, these guys here just take whatever the Ukrainians are telling them. Example, Kakovka Dam on the Dnieper River. The Ukrainians said it was the Russians who blew it. These guys just took it and vomited over us without even trying to confirm somehow through an investigation or, I don't know, some independent sources or anything. No, the Ukrainians said, must be true. And the second one, remember when the Ukrainians said, I have so many examples, yesterday, the day before actually, they said they killed that the Black Sea Navy commander. They said they killed him in that missile strike on the headquarters in Sevastopol. And today I made a video with him showing up at a Ministry of Defense meeting with Shoigu. Anyway, so I don't, and these guys just bought it the way this guy says. So journalists highlighted a new version of the Neptune missile and underscored the long-range missiles from Western allies, such as the British Storm Shadow and American ATA-CMS, some of which are still in the developmental phase. But not, look here. To provide context, is right here. To provide context, 700 kilometers is approximately the distance from Ukraine to Pskov, where explosions erupted at an airfield on the night of August 30th. Pskov is north, a little bit south of St. Petersburg. I covered that. The Ukrainian military's main intelligence directorate confirmed the destruction of 4 Russian Il-76 aircraft. Now, look at this one. Next article. Ukraine's missile production partially relocated abroad after Russian attack. Well, this is exactly like those Ukrainian troops training in Western Europe, and they will keep coming. They will come and they will be without end. They will speak various languages, not Ukrainian, but they will be the Ukrainian troops training over there. The same here. When these guys are going to receive those missiles, click, that they produce abroad, there will be, I don't know, maybe Taurus missiles or other kind of missiles. But hey, what do I know? It says here, when asked about Ukraine's missile program, Danilov refused to answer and just noted that it is classified and no one will tell you how it is going. What I can say is that unfortunately Russia hit a place where these missiles were being assembled. Now we're moved part of the production outside our country. And here, President Zelensky announced on August 31st a long-range Ukrainian-made weaponry had successfully struck Russian occupant targets from a distance of 700 kilometers. They hit inside Russia, not the Crimea Peninsula or anything like that, which I think is legitimate since the Russians do the same thing to the Ukrainians. To provide context, again, 700 kilometers is blah, blah, blah. Now, Neptune anti-ship missile struck Russia S-400, blah, 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 boo, boo, boo. Let's go to the next article. The same weasel here. Ukraine Security Council Secretary stresses that Ukraine will not launch ATACMS missiles at Russia. Pinky promise, cross my heart, hope to never die. If they promise something, they will fulfill it. Next one, Euronews. Washington is finally sending Ukraine long-range missiles. Now it's Berlin's turn. That is as I said, the Taurus ones. They want the Taurus, and that goes to, right here, air-launched cruise missiles that can go about 500 kilometers, my friends. All right, and the next one. Now that right here, distance between Kiev and Moscow in straight line is 755 kilometers. That is 469 miles from Kiev to Moscow, but they're not going to be launched from Kiev or by driving, which is unimportant. So let's say 755 kilometers. They show you here. Okay, they show you the distance. Let me make it like, oh, shoot. There you go. This is 755 kilometers, and this is from Kiev right here. But from Kiev, I'm going to show another map, which is better. Right here, this is Kiev, and I'm going to show you where Moscow is. Right there. So from Kiev to Moscow is 755. I think it's safe to say that if they launch from here, let's say, they win about 150. So that would get them to about, what, 600 kilometers, let's say, about 600 kilometers. It's within reach. And if they hit Pskov, which Pskov is right here somewhere north here. So this is Belarus, and here is Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, whatever the order is, somewhere down here, north here. So if they shoot from somewhere when going like this, 700 kilometers, they could hit Moscow with their own production. Now again, I'm going to come with the initial question. What if these guys do like the Mujahideens did in Afghanistan? They morphed into Al-Qaeda, and then they morphed into ISIS. And we know the answer to that. They will hit the other guys. A lot of weapons go to Ukraine, I would say unaccounted. They go, but who takes them, I don't think we know. And there will be a lot of gangs, a lot of, how should I put it, bad dudes that could possibly destroy airplanes, embassies, parliaments, just create terror in Europe. Not in the United States of America. It's too far. In Europe. And then guess who's going to be to blame? The same guy, Putin. Oh, well, my friends, this is my little concern. My point is the Ukrainians could produce some, and then the question is, how come the Western countries allow them to have their own production? Why don't they let the Iranians have nuclear weapons? I wonder, right? Well, I'm exaggerating, but you get the point. See, because this is our boy, so we allow him. But the same it was the Mujahideens, all right? So first, they are allowed to develop, which I don't think they develop. I think it's the Western weapons under the disguise of the Ukrainian domestic product or production. I'm not denying the Ukrainians' ability to build them. I'm just, how should I put it? I'm concerned, or at least I'm doubtful that the Americans and the Europeans would allow Ukrainians to have their own production for the same reason. Now we're allies, tomorrow we can be enemies. Unless you really think that you got a grip of Ukraine like this and it can't move an inch to the left or to the right, or a little degree to the left or the right. So that's it. I'm waiting. The Kerch Bridge, this is my prediction, will be destroyed, like destroyed. Not a little bit here. It's going to be destroyed. With storm shadows or whatever, there will be damage, and the Russians know it. The example is, look what happened to the Crimean headquarters over there in Sevastopol with the Black Sea Fleet headquarters. They hit it twice at least. Twice, and it's on camera. So that's one, and the other one will be terror in Russia, which is going to be Moscow. And then I'm going to ask the Russians, what are you going to do about it? Well, maybe I don't want to know. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.